Good evening, and welcome to the special town board meeting, September 11th, 2013. I'm going to officially call this meeting to order. I would ask that you all please rise for the pledge, and then after the pledge, I would ask that you would remain standing, if you would, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today is the 12th anniversary of September 11th, and this country had a very brutal attack, and many lives were impacted and many families impacted as well as a result of that. And I'd ask all of our residents to just take a moment to reflect on that day. I think it is important, this very terrible point of time in our history, that we remember all of those individuals that lost their lives. We will not falter, we will not fear, we will not fail, and we will not forget. And I would ask that we just take a moment, please. Thank you, and thank you for that reflection. This evening is an opportunity for myself and Bob Beeden, our town controller, to present the tentative budget to the town board and to the community. Originally, this would have been done on the 4th of September in recognition of the Rosh Hashanah holiday. It was moved till this evening. Before I ask Bob to go through his slides, I would like to just make a couple of comments. First and foremost, to the board, thank you for your valuable coaching and feedback and course direction as we went through and put this budget together. The department heads who each and every year I put a lot of pressure on to look for creative ways to do things, to reduce costs, cut spending, and try to do more with less. And I want to thank all the department heads for stepping up. As we put this budget together, the message that this town board heard loud and clear, and I heard from them and through our residents, is that we need to continue to control the amount of spending in government. Our residents do not feel that they have a lot of valuable input at the state or federal level. And really, they feel that the only opportunity for control and management is at the local level, closest to the people. As we put this together, we worked very hard to make sure that we weren't over-projecting our revenues. We had a very modest growth in assessment through new building, and Bob will get into that in a little bit more detail. And one of the things that we always take a look at is to make sure that we're being conservative on our revenue that comes in. And really, we have a couple of major parts of our revenue that we watch very closely. One being sales tax, the other one being mortgage tax. And we want to make sure that we're not overestimating those based on what's going on in the community, the economy, and a number of other things, and we have to be very sensitive to that. This year was very challenging as we took a look at increase in pension costs, the health care reform. To give you an idea that 1/1/14, putting aside our increase in health care costs through normal rate increases, there will be an extra 3.5% in fees and taxes in order to fund the new federal Health Care Act. So that's 3.5% above and beyond what our normal expenditure would be for rate increases. So we had a lot of headwind that we worked on. I feel that this budget that I'm presenting to the board and to the community addresses all of the items and with very little or no impact to services. And with that, I'd like to start off, and I'd ask our Controller Bob Beeden, who really worked kind of as our pivot point between myself on the board and our department heads for putting this together. And Bob, as you're getting ready and you get to move your cup there, I will say that in speaking with Bob earlier, this is Bob's 40th budget that he has put together for government in some way, shape, or form. So we've got a little bit of experience, and considering he's only 45 years old. And Bob, with that, please share with the board and the community the 2014 tentative budget.
Thank you, Tony. Basically, what I will be going through this evening is the 2013 performance as of December 31st, 2013 for general highway and library funds. Then we'll take a look at our tax rate over the years, our sales tax projections that we get from the County of Monroe, and then the bond payments that affect our tax rate, and that'll be up through the year 2016. Then this will lead us into talking about our tentative budget for the general fund, highway, and library. Then we'll have a pie chart which will show us the total cost of the 2014 tentative budget and the revenues that make up that. And then the town board every year likes us not only to look at the year ahead, but they also want a 3-year forecast. And this is very essential because this allows us to make any adjustments that we have to have during the years in order for us to maintain the same tax base. We'll look at our fund balance through the year 2016. Then our major reserve fund, we'll talk about that through the year 2016. Then, of course, we got to talk about our special district tentative budgets for 2014. And then the balance of our budget calendar for 2014. Our 2013 performance, when you take a look at our total appropriations at the end of December, it's estimated that our appropriations will be approximately $202,000 below the 2013 adopted budget. $91,000 of that is from personnel salaries. We had a mild winter, so the overtime has been reduced. And there were positions in the highway department where individuals retired and we didn't fill those positions. Our contractual cost is down $61,000, and that's due to the department heads keeping costs down. Therefore, we didn't have to use the line item for contingency this year. In our revenue, the Monroe County mortgage tax is up $100,000 to $1,100,000. It's estimated to hit that figure at the end of December. Our 2013 sales tax, we're estimated at $2,650,000. That's up $100,000 from the 2013 budget. Where we have some reductions is other government services are down $32,000, and that's due to the mild winter we had in the snow removal area from the state. So they did not give us as much that we budgeted for, but we also saved money on overtime by not having to do a lot of the labor work because of the mild winter. The net effect to balance our appropriated surplus for 2013 is we only need to use $365,000. That's a favorable variance of $363,000 that we can carry over into our 2014 tentative budget. Looking at our 2000 rate analysis through the year 2016, our 2014 tentative budget shows, as Tony LaFountain mentioned, an increase in assessment growth of 1.41%, which will allow us to maintain the same tax rate that we've had since 2010, $2.64. The other positive note, if we anticipate and estimate a 1% increase in assessment growth for 2015 and 2016, our tax rate will remain pretty much the same as it had since 2010 at $2.64. Looking at this chart, when we go back to 2007, you notice the tax rate was $2.94. And for 2014, it's 30 cents below that rate. And we anticipate the good news is to maintain that same tax rate for 2015 and 2016. Every year I work with the County of Monroe, who gives me the figures I need to estimate our sales tax. And with this sales tax projection, they're estimated a 0.5%. And as Tony mentioned in his letter, we are very conservative because we don't know what the economy is going to bring. So we budgeted $2,700,000 for the sales tax. This represents 17% of our revenue, the same as 2015 and 2016. Then we have some bond payments which affect our tax rates. The pool locker room library project, that bond retires in 2019. Our land acquisition project, that retires in the year 2022. When we take a look at 2014, our total principal and interest payments are $52,000 below the 2013 budget because we made the last payment for our equipment paver. In addition, as we go through the next few years, as we pay more on the principal, the interest is reduced, and therefore our total bond payments are being reduced. Leading into talking about our 2014 tentative budget for the general fund, highway, and library fund. Our total appropriations are $16,339 below the 2013 budget. Where we have an increase is in our salaries, and that represents a 1% increase in merit raises. And also we added a position as a building inspector. Our contractual cost is up $114,000. That's due to the increase in gas and electric, and also for fuel costs for the highway department. Our insurance cost is going up over 10% due to the tight market that we anticipate will happen in 2014. Employee benefits are up $156,000. That's an increase based on medical insurance going up 12.5%. The cost of the workers' comp is going up 12%, and our retirement cost represents 20% of the salaries for 2014. Our capital outlay parks and buildings, we're anticipating spending $179,000 to renovate our parks area and also major construction for the town facilities. Our debt service, where we have some reductions, are in our equipment. Department heads have held down the equipment costs, so we're saving about $352,000 from the 2013 budget. And then in our debt service, as I mentioned below, will be $52,000 below the 2013 budget because we paid the equipment. We paid for the paver in 2013, the last payment. On the revenue side, we show an increase in assessment growth of 1.4%, gives us $105,000. The mortgage tax, we anticipate will budget $1,050,000, which is up $50,000 from 2013. Our sales tax, $2,700,000, 17% of our revenue, is up $150,000 from 2013. Our state aid is up slightly due to the fact that the Consolidated Highway Improvement Program went up for reimbursement to the towns. Other government services are up slightly. Interfund revenues are up $101,000. And then the amount we're appropriating to do these major repairs to our buildings and also the fund equipment for the animal control officer and for the Parks Department, that is going to be funded from the General Reserve Fund. Appropriate Equipment Reserve, the Highway Department will allocate $100,000 of their reserve fund to fund their equipment for 2014. So the net effect to balance the tentative budget for 2014 is we need to appropriate $102,504. And when we take a look at the pie, personnel salaries is 65%. That's down from 67% in 2013. Equipment and capital projects, 4%. Contractual costs at 24%. That's up from 22% in 2013. Our town insurance at 1%. Debt service at 6%. Those figures were the same as 2013. On the revenue side, where the pie comes across here for the total 2014 tentative budget, 52% represents real property tax. That's down from 54% in 2013. Sales tax, 17% of our total revenues. State aid, 9%. Local revenue, 8%. Government services, 7%. Interfund revenues, 4%. These figures were the same as 2013. Appropriated surplus and plus reserves went up from 1% in 2013 to 3% for the 2014 distribution. Estimated appropriation of revenues through the year 2016. As Tony mentioned, we also do a 3-year budget. In order for us to take a look to see if we have any problems, we can address those problems. And this is only an estimated, but it could be very accurate. Our salaries, is up about 1% due to merit increases. Our employee benefits for 2015, the total appropriations are $63,000 above the 2014 budget. And again, as I mentioned, because the increases have to do with salaries at 1% due to merit raises, employee benefits are still going up, and we're holding the line on contractual costs. We feel insurance is going to be going up as the market tightens. And the same as 2006, the total appropriation is approximately $63,000 above the 2015 budget. We talked about our 2014 tentative budget, and then we talked about our 2013 estimated budget. For the revenue, we anticipate a 1% increase in assessment growth each year for 2015 and 16. Again, we're going to hold the line on the mortgage tax at $1,050,000 for the next 2 years. And then the sales tax represents the other major income. Figure that'll be around $2,700,000. So to balance our budget for 2015, we need to appropriate $250,800, and for 2016, $207,900. When we analyze our fund balance for the general highway and library funds, when we add all our revenues, subtract our expenditures, the end of 2014, we're going to be appropriating $122,500 from appropriated surplus to balance the budget and transfer into our reserve fund to build that up so we can do the major projects that need to be done. That brings it down to $3,644,000. The same scenario will happen for 2015 and 16, which will bring our fund balance to $2,786,000. Investment service companies have recommended fund balances between 15 to 20%. And this is necessary for us when we have to bond for sewer projects. Mooney investors will allow us to maintain a AA2 rating, which will allow us to save interest on our bonds when we borrow. And we anticipate borrowing on a bond anticipation note in the year 2014. Our general reserve fund is our major reserve fund that we use, as I mentioned before, for renovations of our facilities and also to fund some of our equipment needs for the Parks Department and some of our staff. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, for 2014's tentative budget, we're taking $258,000 to do just what I said, the renovation of facilities and for equipment for the animal control officer and also for the Parks Department. So when we take a look at 15 and 16, our balance will be approximately $337,000, which should be sufficient for us to fund any of our major repairs that need to be done into our buildings. Our 2014 Special District tentative budget, we'll talk about the drainage, water districts, lighting districts, sewer districts, and ambulance districts. The 2014 drainage rate is $3.72 per unit, or $37.20 per homeowner. This is the same tax levy as 2013. The 2014 budget includes payment for debt service for the Thomas Cove and Consolidated Water Districts. The 2014 budget will be less than a penny per thousand, or an average charge of 54 cents per average homeowner in a townwide consolidated water district. This is an increase of 17 cents per homeowner from 2013. The Thomas Cold Water District will pay $1.32 per thousand, or $211.68 per homeowner. This is an increase from 2013 of $18.08. The 2014 budget for the townwide lighting district is 6.6 cents per thousand, or $10.56 per average homeowner, which is the same as 2013. The 2014 tax levy for our intensified lighting district is $29.76. This is an increase of $3.49 per homeowner from 2013. The 2014 unit charge for sewer operation and maintenance is $39.79 per residential home, which is an increase of 34 cents. It's an increase of 34 cents from the 2013 tax levy. The 2014 unit charge for the sewer debt service is $68, and this is a 64-cent decrease from the 2013 tentative levy. The 2014 budget for the ambulance district is 2.5 cents per thousand. The average home will pay $3.77. This is a decrease of 71 cents from the 2013 tax levy. This is the Penfield Volunteer Ambulance District. The 2014 budget for District Number 2, which is our northeast quadrant, is less than 2 cents per thousand. The average home will pay $2.94 during 2014, and this is a 70-cent increase from 2013. The supervisor presented tonight the 2014 budget, 2014 tentative budget. It will be on the website, the detail, the PowerPoint presentation, and the supervisor's letter to the board. You can get it as we speak at www.penfield.org. From September 11th through October 9th, there'll be a public comment period. October 2nd, 2013, there'll be a public hearing on this 2014 preliminary budget where residents can come in and talk about it. That also will be on the website at www.penfield.org. And then October 16th, every year before the election, the town board approves the final 2014 budget. Thank you.
Bob, great job as always, and I would like to recognize Bob again for that effort, along with our department heads. Next steps for this budget, just to re-highlight those. The comment period now begins from this evening right through the 9th of October. Anyone can comment on that via written email, or they can come to the public hearing that will be held on October 2nd. The complete budget, in addition to Bob's PowerPoint, the complete budget, so the devil is always in the details. So every line item, every particular code for all of the different line items are online and available this evening, so that anyone can go through those. The tentative budget, now that it's introduced to the board and to the public, will become our preliminary budget, and we'll be holding that public hearing again on October 2nd. We would welcome any and all residents to come and to comment on the budget, whether they're for or against the budget. And certainly they can send emails in with any questions or comments. In addition to the website, for those individuals that may not be quite as handy with a computer, you can come in and there's a copy of the budget, hard copy of the budget with the town clerk. There's one with the finance director, Mr. Beeden, and there's one at the library. And anyone having any specific questions about the budget would encourage them to reach out to Mr. Beeden. You can do that at beeden@penfield.org, or you can reach out to him at 340-8621. See, I never call Bob because whenever I want to see him, I walk across the hall so I can look in the whites of his eyes. That's 340-8621. So with that, we have officially presented the tentative budget to the community. I would encourage any and all folks to join us on October 2nd. And if you would like more detail, please go to the website or reach out to Mr. Beeden. There being no further business before the board this evening, the September 11, 2013 special town board meeting will be adjourned. We'll take a short recess. We will resume our work session agenda in the back of the room, and any and all folks are welcome to stay. Thank you. Have a great evening.